Hey guys, what up? Total Control 871. Welcome back to BitChute. Welcome back to Rumble. Welcome back to Free Speech. Looks like we made it. Yes, made it home. Praise God. All right, so we had a successful mission today. We went out in defiance of the communist mandates of facial suffocation, and I was able to defy those mandates, of those made up mandates, go as you, they make them up as they go along. If I'm not mistaken, that's pretty much what the lady at the check-in says. As a matter of fact, when I went to check in, here's how that basically went.
Today, yes. Tomorrow, no.
No, thank you.
Oh, you don't need one. Okay.
Thank you so much. Charles Dunbar, Amirs.
Charles Dunbar.
Yeah.
You're
I-
having an appointment today?
Yes.
Oh, but then you need a mask.
No, thank you.
Oh, yeah, I know. It's the rule for today. I'm sorry. Tomorrow you don't need it, but today you do. As of tomorrow, we don't have to wear them. It's Cooper's rule, not mine.
Today you do, and tomorrow.
Well, we got an email that tomorrow they don't have to. They're going to stop it, but as of today, they still want everybody to wear one. So you can speak to the doctor when you go back, even if you want to hold it in your hand. Okay?
All right, guys, I am here. I am at the Cooper Medical Building. I did not accept the mask. I did not put it in my hand. We're going to see what happens. I know it sounds weird and strange tomorrow, but I'm not going to wait for tomorrow. As far as I know, tomorrow may never come. Today, I stand for my civil rights. So she was basically saying that, today we have to wear it, tomorrow we don't have to wear it. From the tone in her voice, I would say that even people who went along with this scam, they've lost patience with it. That's what I'll say. I don't want to put words in her mouth. I don't want to assume anything for anybody, but just simply my takeaway from my interaction with the check-in personnel, they basically had it with the jerking around, the herk and jerk, and the COVID whiplash. I think I've used that term before. Yes, COVID whiplash. Like I say, they just stick the finger in the wind and it's is there a pandemic? Isn't there? Maybe yes, maybe no. Okay, so one thing that I did want to bring to your attention, when I went to my appointment today, you know what? I need a backpack. I had to take one of these Walmart reusable bags. I guess I completely, because I'm so used to traveling by bicycle, and my bicycle has panniers, and I need a backpack. Or a satchel. It'll probably be a backpack. I've tried wearing satchels in the past. My body just isn't shaped right for them. They always come off looking like a purse, and I don't want to look like a purse, So kudos to the men out there who are masculine enough to pull it off. Unfortunately, that's not me. So I'm going to have to stick with the rucksack, right? Rucksack, how do you pronounce it? But I got to get one, and I needed to take some things with me to the doctor's appointment. This is some advice that I can give to you if you're going out in your protest and you're fearful that you may be arrested, incarcerated for a very long time, which is what I was indeed fearful of. So what I included in my little pack here, if I can get this done up correctly. There we go. Thank you. Is the sun bleaching it out? I can't see. The sun's getting in my eyes. All right, so I included My birth certificate. I took along with me my birth certificate as well as my passport. The passport, it's good for 10 years. So again, I have no idea. And you know what? If I'm locked up longer than 10 years, at least it'll be some form of identification. Far as I know, birth certificates don't expire. Remember now, when they eventually decide to let you out of your gulag, you very well indeed might find yourself in a position where you're starting out from scratch. And take it from this ex-homeless man. One of the biggest hurdles that the homeless face is a lack of identification. It's like I say, we don't need same-day voter registration, before the ink can even dry on your voter registration. You're in the poll, you're behind the curtain, and you're pressing buttons. By the way, I made that comment in a YouTube on a YouTube video regarding I think immigration, and believe it or not, it got censored. It got taken down. Again, no threats. They just don't want you talking about objective reality and how same-day voting can very much indeed massively impact and degrade election integrity. Okay, we don't need we do need identification for voting, and I also believe that identification should be free. The identification doesn't have to be biometric to be effective. It doesn't. So we don't have to be giving DNA swabs or retinal scans or none of that crazy shit. But yes, identification should be required. And if it's required and voting is a constitutional right, then it should be free. Okay, I'm sorry, but I get it. The DMV has been a racket for a long time. They've earned a lot of money off of all the fees they charge for identification. But, so the communist Democrats, they can't have it both ways. So if you want voting integrity, we're going to have free identification. Believe me, oh my God, I don't even want to talk about how much this shit costs. It was a lot, a lot. And so I made it. And yeah, take your identification with you. Things that obviously you can't take suitcases, but just take some things that you think will be helpful rebuilding your life after you have been finally let out of, could be multiple months, multiple years, maybe even multiple decades behind the government's iron curtain. So that's what I did today. I went out and I finally had my heart-to-heart discussion with Dr. Corbett. Okay, so let's talk about this business with Dr. Corbett and Cooper Health. It's also not just him, but it's also Dr. Stephen Daly. He also, I've dealt with him prior to Dr. Corbett. The issue at heart, no pun intended, the issue at heart has to do with something called an ascending aortic aneurysm, and I have one. Now, Dr. Corbett and frankly, a myriad of other cardiologists that I've been to see, they are all trying to minimize this. If I had to characterize it, I would say that it's the medical version of the thin blue line. I think they all just basically, I don't want to say lie for each other, So Dr. Corbett says that, in case you didn't know, your aorta, the average aorta, which Dr. Corbett in today's video, he tries to undermine this settled science, this long-standing science. Your aorta, it's about 2 centimeters. Now, what Dr. Corbett goes on to say is that, well, a person your size would have a larger aorta. Now, the problem with everything that Dr. Corbett just said there is that he is trying to infer that basically, if I didn't have DEI education, there's been some pretty good progress.
Good.
I'm down 69 pounds.
Awesome. How'd you do that?
Well, that's one of the things I came to talk to you about. I get in-home care from my health insurance, Clover. They send the in-home nurses. And it was during one of those visits that my in-home nurse, she disclosed to me something that apparently Cooper's cardiology department knew about 2 years ago: an ascending aortic aneurysm. 4.3 centimeters to be precise. That was detected back in, 2 years ago. So
it was detected on the echo in 2021.
Right. And I was extremely upset, to put it mildly. Why yourself, Dr. Daly, nobody discussed
Because
this with me.
it's size by body mass. So for like normal's 4.0 and a normal and that's from anybody who's like a 90-pound woman to a 6 foot. How tall are you?
6'3".
6'3". So I don't even think 4.3 is real. I wouldn't even really call it aneurysm because it's sized by your body.
That's
So
fine.
we do follow it. That's why we do ultrasounds every couple of years. But it's not where, I would usually if someone we're really concerned about, we do it every 6 months to a year.
That's kind of the
So for you, like a guy like your size, you're going to have a bigger aorta than, a female.
well, the standard aorta is 2 centimeters, so mine was double.
No, so the top normal is 4. Like totally normal is 2. Some people have smaller, some people have normal. We don't really follow till it gets about 4. And in your case, like I said, we'll do echoes every couple of years to keep an eye on it. But
Well, considering all the symptoms that I was presenting with, most notably the persistent cough, which has completely gone away.
good, how'd that go away?
Well, I'm trying to get together my own amateur language here.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically hemorrhoids in the throat. The three, what do you call them? On the ascending aorta, it's got those 3 tubes that come off,
Right.
leads into the brain
Mm-hmm.
and around the throat. It is my belief that those blood vessels and maybe neighboring blood vessels, well, I'm sure you know what a hemorrhoid is and what it does, swollen, leaks. That's what was troubling me with this cough. Basically, it was the fluid, just like I could show you my leg, the fluid from a varicose vein down in the leg, because it's all vascular. Whether it's a hemorrhoid or a varicose vein, it's all vascular that leaks fluid, and that's what was getting into my throat, where I was constantly having to stifle a cough because it felt like a tiny trickle of water, fluid, something would get in while I was speaking, because that's if you recall, that's what I kept saying. It's only when I'm speaking, and to speak you need more breath, the billowing of the lungs. That billowing would draw out that fluid that much more, causing me to chronically cough whenever I would speak. Now, the problem with everything that Dr. Corbett just said there is that he is trying to infer that basically, if I didn't have DEI education, I don't know if this is a DEI thing, meaning we want to recalibrate the norms. Because everybody is getting so goddamn fat and morbidly obese, instead of saying the normal average aorta is 2 centimeters, let's say it's 4 centimeters, and what's so crazy here, Dr. Corbett tries very, very hard. Him and also Dr. Siddiqui, Dr. DiMarsicchio, all these doctors that I've seen, they tried very, very hard to normalize and this aortic aneurysm that's in my chest. Mind you, an aorta, it becomes a candidate for surgery at 5.5 centimeters. Okay. So I was very much indeed, I'm not saying that I was a surgical candidate thus far. Also, the thing that Dr. Corbett seems to gloss over and not understand is that 4.3 centimeter, that's what it looked like 2 years ago, over 2 years ago, about 2 years and 3 months now. Okay. Which means that aorta could be that much more larger. Far as what I know, maybe it is 5.5 or larger. Maybe it is surgical. And it would definitely explain and account for a lot, which is what I tried to explain to Dr. Corbett. I was telling Dr. Corbett that the ascending aorta, with the three veins, I'm sorry, I'm not a doctor, so I don't have all the anatomy. But with your ascending it with the aorta, they call it aorta because it's like a candy cane. It comes, so let me see. This is heart. Got it? Heart. And the aorta comes up and it wraps around, okay? Wraps around and it goes down your back, So this would be where your spine is, and this is the heart. So this will be your chest, so to speak. And that aorta, it comes off of the heart and it bends over like a candy cane and it goes all the way down. And off of the arch of the aorta, there are 3 main blood vessels. It's going to be on your left side here. These are the 3 main blood vessels that go up into your head. It's also why I would get dizzy, severe vertigo, spinning, like the room starts spinning. All of this vascular issues, I have no idea just how much blockage there is, if there's blockage, and if so, how much. Is there vascular occlusion going on? I don't know. Now, there was a whole thing with Dr. DiMarsicchio. I'll throw his picture up here. Dr. DiMarsicchio, he got very, very strange with his explanations as to why he didn't want to give me a CT scan. It was really weird. He was willing to CT any other part of my body, but not the ascending aorta. Why? This doesn't make a whole lot of sense. He gives some big word salad, long explanation about how the radiation of the CT scan and this, that, and the other. So after giving all this foreboding, warning, I then say, well, will you do a CT scan of my descending aorta? Oh, yeah, we can do that. Well, if you can do the descending, then why can't you do the ascending? His explanation was, I'm not a cardiologist. Nobody's asking you to be a cardiologist. All I need you to do is a goddamn scan. That's all you got to do. Anyway, like I say, things got strange with a lot of these doctors that I went to. It's going to be in the whole compilation of my medical expose. I got quite a few of them in undercover video. So that's what happened with Cooper. They withheld this aneurysm information from me for over 2 years. And if it wasn't for my in-home nurse around, I think September or October of last year, she says it kind of in passing, thinking that I knew already, because she was asking me, well, what are you doing about the aneurysm? I'm like, what am I doing? Aneurysm? What aneurysm? I had absolutely no idea. And of course, Dr. Corbett, he is trying to play it like, that's no big deal. Well, number one, that was 2 years ago that it was 4.3 centimeters, which could be much larger today. And today, obviously what it was, with me presenting with the symptoms that I was presenting with, the chronic cough. Have you guys figured that out? Huh? No more halls. The cough is gone, everybody. No more struggling to get through my podcast. No more struggling to get through my videos without coughing. I can I can breathe easy, you know. And the reason was I tried my best to explain it to Dr. Corbett. It sounds weird, kind of cringy and weird, but it's basically hemorrhoids in the throat, so to speak. Or if you want to use the term, varicose veins in the throat. Remember our 3 arteries, okay, coming off of the aorta? If you know what a hemorrhoid is, and if you know what a varicose vein is, they're basically just enlarged, engorged blood vessels that leak fluid, maybe even blood too. Okay, and it leaks, and if I can, I'll take a picture of it and I'll throw it up here. This is a picture of a varicose vein that's on my leg, and what has happened is that this particular vein, it has seeped into the skin, the dermis of my skin, and it leaked, and it caused a hard patch, you know. I think I was on my way to getting one of those ulcers, you know. There's probably more to this that I just don't know, or have the language for. And it's sad too, because I turn to these doctors to get educated, but it turns out I have to educate myself. So, is the shadow really bad? Is it like a real bad contrast? Because it's like the sun is like totally, I don't know, maybe, or is it better? I don't know. Here, maybe I'll scooch over. Better. I hope it's better. I should have hit the pause for all that. So yeah, well, the fluid leaking from our 3 arteries is what was seeping into my esophagus. Understand? It's what was seeping into my esophagus and being inhaled. So the clear fluid, because, you know, because I got hemorrhoids and I don't got a problem telling you about it. You know, it's like, do I even want to get, no, let me finish this thought and then I'll come back to a PSA on hemorrhoids. The fluid, it leaks into my esophagus. From the esophagus, it gets inhaled into my lungs. Because remember how I told you guys I only cough when I'm speaking. When the lungs, because I have to breathe, I require more air, more billowing of the lungs in order to speak. And doing that billowing is what draws the fluid out of those veins. So basically, you just simply, all of that fluid that's leaking from those veins, it's being drawn into your lungs, you know. And considering how the dermis of my shin has become hard in that spot, I can't help but wonder, is there any hardening in my lungs? Is there hardening anywhere up here? I certainly would like to know. Does that account for any of my cardiac issues? So again, I have all these questions. Like I say, I'm more than willing to admit my ignorance where my knowledge comes to an abrupt end. I don't think that, you know, you get online, you do your research, and suddenly that makes you a doctor. I'm not one of those people. But unfortunately, our doctors, they're not doing what they should do. You know, they've been, the past 4 years, they've been so obsessed with trying to push a communist narrative to get you to perform self-harm, you know, to inject experimental compounds into your body and to suffocate your face and virtue signal self-deprecation. Virtue signal the concept of self-loathing. Virtue signal the concept of criminal behavior, because that's all who's left wearing these masks right now. Communists and criminals. Those are the only 2 demographics that I know of that are left wearing face diapers. Communists and criminals. I tell you, boy, when people drive by your house slow, you better act like you motherfucking know. Shit. Drive by your house slow. Anyway, if this was Compton, I'd be really worried. But yeah, that's what was giving the cough. Oh yeah, I was telling the doctor that I have indeed lost 69 pounds. If you guys can't really see it, that's because of the weirdness of my body. You know, like I said, I am extremely pear-shaped, so as I continue to lose weight, you might not even necessarily see it. I don't know, does it look any thinner up here? What do you guys think? You know? I don't know, do I look any thinner? I don't know. But yeah, I do have a tape measure. I got a tape measure and I took, what was it, I tried to take my chest measurement. I think it was 65 and my waist measurement was 75. And that's at 69 pounds down. So, oh my God, I must have been like 80, 85 inch waist, you know, at the beginning of this thing. So I still have about 2 years of work left ahead of me. It's a struggle. It's not easy, you know. I was trying to explain to the doctor, he seems to think that, well, the crash diet, the eating the frozen dinners, there's some, you know what, I think I'll save that for a different video. You know, there is clearly a severe metabolic issue that I have. A severe metabolic issue, anyway. But yes, that's basically what's going on with Cooper. I'm very happy that I was able to make it home and not thrown in a jail. I'm very upset that they withheld this information from me, because remember, if this had been disclosed to me 2 years ago, think of how much farther along I could have been in my progress. I mean, today I'm down 69 pounds. That's good and everything, but think of how much, you know, my heart could have been relieved of that burden, you know, that much sooner. But because you were operating under the belief that, 4.3, no big deal. It's nothing that I need to make you aware of. What makes you think you have that choice? I am the patient. You should be telling me everything, which is basically the basis of my complaint to Dr. Corbett today and to Cooper. Why are you withholding information from us? These are things that we need. We need to have this information so that we, the patient, can make our informed decisions, so that we can participate in our health. But you know what? Is it like, because I made a comparative analogy to the thin blue line that cops have, and that, you know, the thin blue medical line. Is this now analogous to teachers? Are doctors just, you know, because teachers, oh my God, Democrat teachers, Jesus God, they just show up to collect their check. That's it. They really do not give a shit about your children at all. And frankly, they hate doing that. They want your child to stay home. They literally just want their teacher's salary to stay home, do their stupid Zoom, and guess what? Mark my words. Soon, if you were to allow them to do that, they would start complaining about that. Why do I got to get in front of the camera? I should be able to just simply press record or press play. You know. How about AI? Is the AI machine? Can't the AI teach these little bastards something? Well, if that's the case, then why do we need to pay you anything? What you mean? You better pay me. And then out comes the entitlement, the illogical entitlement. So, is this what's going on with our doctors? Are they burnt out? I mean, how many obese patients does Dr. Corbett see in the course of the day? I bet they're all obese, you know, almost, you know. So I wasn't the only overweight person in that waiting room. You know, how many times can he dispense the same health warnings and have them not heeded before he's like, you know what, fuck it, I just don't care anymore. Instead, let's start with a new normal. Your engorged aneurysm, that's normal. We're going to dub aneurysms as normal. That's what he was saying. Oh, you were born with the aneurysm. Born with the aneurysm, huh? Oh, okay. Is there any reason why my symptoms didn't, my cardiac symptoms didn't start until about three years ago or so? Well, okay. Okay. So, obviously, Dr. Corbett cannot reconcile. He puts together his word salad, but he can't reconcile the things that he's saying. He can't, square the peg. He can't. He just gives you a word salad, and I guess that's supposed to be good enough. I don't know. So, I'm supposed to be going for this echo, which is going to do what? I mean, echo. Anyway, they wanted to, eventually they did want to give me a CT scan, to which, believe it or not, because at first I was like fighting real hard to get this CT scan, and now I'm not going to get it because I ultimately learned that CT scans involve beta blockers, and I expressed that concern, and they said, well, we can do the scan without the beta blockers. It sounds weird, but I don't think I trust them to not administer beta blockers, because they'll give you the dye, is it dye that you're giving me, or is it not dye? I know how that sounds. It sounds tinfoil hat, conspiracy. It sounds, I get how it sounds. But like I said, we are now living in a society where people have been pushed off of transplant lists. Teams of doctors have literally stood there and watched their patient die. All because they would not accept an experimental compound. So that's it. Half hour. I made it, everybody. Looks like I made it. They didn't throw me in the slammer. Okay, everybody. That's it. Keep fighting. Keep fighting. They're going to continue to try to bring back their fake pandemic mandates and justify it. It's crazy. They're gonna scare. I think I was watching before I turned on the camera here. Channel 6 News. They had a thing on the measles. They're spiking. See, I told you, they're always going to try and use your children to scare the daylights out of you. And they got like the black bar over, like to anonymize the face. To anonymize the face. And you know what? I don't even think it was because of my recent researching into viruses and things like that. I know these pictures. Those are vintage pictures from the 50s, if I'm not mistaken. Why are you putting... They got these vintage pictures from like the... Okay, that kid has got to be every bit of like 70 or 80 years old, assuming they're still alive. Okay? They got the black bar. But they put that up there because they want you to think that this is a new case of measles. And it's just more of their lies, more of their fear-mongering. That people are withdrawing from their vaccination schedule. And like I say, I am a 2020 anti-vaxxer. The damage that you did, trying to pull off this New World Order stuff, you did this damage to yourself, to your own medical credibility. You have nobody to blame but yourself. Okay? All right, people, that's it. Be watchful, be vigilant, fight the good fight, and always remember, the deep state, they're going to want to separate you from your constitutional rights whenever and wherever. Keep fighting. Total Control 871.